Welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. If you're interested in seeing how this angelic piece was created, watch the rest of this video. A collaboration with Tammy Anderson and Myriam's Nature inspired this piece called Butterflies, a spiritual connection. With my palette knife, yummy colours and imagination, I create my own piece of heaven on earth. It's sparklicious, has so much depth, texture and movement, you cannot help but smile as you gaze upon its meadows. Why don't you sit back, relax and watch me create? Hi, welcome back. So I am going to do my best to talk through this. This is a collaboration with the talented Tammy Anderson and Myriam's Nature. The scope of this collaboration was butterflies and texture. So on this piece, this was my second piece, I tried to create, actually no, I'm digressing. What I'm going to say is, firstly, thank you for spending some time with me. And I'll try and balance talking you through my process, as well as allowing you to just sit back, relax and listen to some music. I'm in the middle of packing, so I have limited time to get this done. I'm doing it ahead of time and I've virtually got no equipment left. So you may hear me scrambling with my paints. I don't have a lot of time to write big descriptions or anything, but I will try and tell you what it is that I'm using, and I'll put it in the little description box. So do take some time to pop up to that little box and have a little click, and also into the top right corner there's a little information tab, and if you click on that there will be some videos that I recommend. Anyway, I'm Sharon, I'm digressing. I attempted a first piece of this and was really thrown by texture, and at the last minute I decided it wasn't me, and I started to do this just before I was going up Yorkshire to visit family. So time was of the essence. I'd only got a couple of days until my studio is being boxed up, and I also had to go and visit family. Nothing like pressure, eh? So I'm using the amazing Arteza pigments, and these ones are the colours I'm using. Let me have a little look. I've got them in front of me. It is pale green, phthalo green and lemon yellow, and I'm applying this as my base because I wasn't sure if I was going to be applying resin, and you see me work through this process a few times, so I'm just layering a couple of layers. I try a few different things, I didn't like it, so I bring back to what it was in the beginning. So I've left this process so you can see that I'm working through it. I was trying to bring foreground to the front, I was trying to have depth, but I wanted it to be blurred so it represented the background. So that's why you see me come back and go over it. Having said that, this MDF round board was thirsty, it needed a few coats, so it all worked out in the end. And for me, when I do this, I apply my little dots of paint and I'm trying to just blend them in naturally and have sort of that blurred background to give you that depth of field. And in the end, I believe that I successfully did that. And I just blow a tiny little bit of glitter on as it's drying, just to add that little bit of sparkle, not too much, but in the background. These Arteza pigments were the fluid ounce in the pouch, and they worked really well. I enjoyed working with this, and I've run out of the phthalo green because that's becoming my new favourite green at the moment. What you'll then see is I pull out my palette knife, and as I pull out my palette knife, I'm just going pure intuition and just letting the palette knife take me. I know that I needed to create texture with the actual acrylic paint itself, and again I'm using Arteza, and I had fun. It was intuitive. I feel really connected. For me, I've had a couple of people that's passed on, and I see butterflies and the garden as somewhere where the spirits have gone. It's just a personal thing of myself, and when I was creating this, I was channeling people that I know that have passed over the other side, and for me it's a bright, happy, vibrant piece, and that's where I got my connection from. So I'll let you listen to some music and I'll come back in a little while because I've Sharon and I've digressed. So you've seen me start with my flowers, and if you've never used a palette knife, it's such a rewarding way to apply your paint. And don't think about it, just think about movements, channel what it is that you're trying to do, let the paint create that piece for you. The colours I'm still using are Arteza, but now I've gone on to the premium in the little tube. I'll put the descriptions in or should I say the links for you, and there is going to be a discount in there if you do buy them from the link there. So just remember, I am an affiliate of Arteza Pigments, but I only stand by ones that I've used myself and I enjoy. And part of being an affiliate means that you get a discounts from time to time directly from them if you click my link, but also every time you purchase one, a small percent goes to me at no extra cost for yourself. So just wanted to make you fully aware of that. So the colours I'm currently using is a mauve pale, and there is a mixture of the blues, which is ultramarine, cobalt blue and pearl sapphire blue. You'll see me almost also using a little bit of white in there, and I start to phase through with some of my colours using the magenta light, orange yellow, orange red and brilliant red, and obviously a mid yellow. So they're the colours I'm constantly backwards and forwards in here. And like I said, the fun with this is just let the colours be the heroes. You can see now the perspective of the depth, where that background that was blurred is making it look like that's bigger piece of grass in the distance. And as I'm coming through here, I'm just thinking, what is my composition like? I know the hero has to be the butterfly as well as the texture, so slap on that paint, Sharon, with your palette knife. Try to keep to some bright colours, and if I've ever dreamt of this meadow, these are the colours and this is how I feel it. And leave the space for the butterflies, and I don't want to put more than 3 butterflies on there. I don't know why. 3 just looks aesthetically pretty on some paintings, and it just flows really nice. But for me, it was just mummy, daddy and baby, so a family, a unit. And I start building it up and layering it, and I know that I just wanted to have some high, some low, but I was very conscious that I never wanted you to see where the flowers ended. And I know that because what I was trying to do is create the darkness around that would draw you into the center. And then as you see me start to highlight and then add the butterflies, eventually you start to see it's almost as though there's a spotlight on them. But I'm digressing. I'm Sharon. You've heard enough of me waffling. I think you should just give this a go if you haven't before. But yeah, enjoy this process, and I'll come back a little bit later and give a little bit more commentary. And I hope you're enjoying so far. And remember, if you are, thumbs up, subscribe, share, and all that beautiful positive stuff that you can give back to me. the flowers are starting to pop, and I really do bond with those ones at the bottom, especially that center one. It's like a rose. This was interesting for me creating butterflies because I didn't want it to be anatomically correct, if that's the right word. I wanted it to be an impression of this butterfly or this soul or something that is just connecting with these flowers that are down here. I start with what I perceive as the main person, which would be a representation of a boy, which is a spirit that to me has passed over. And I'm trying to just make sure I look like there's movements, and he's just seeing this beautiful flower that he's going to be stopping for. And you see me when I'm going backwards and forwards. That's just me working through the process and having the confidence to know, you know what's the worst that can happen? You have to paint over it. Acrylics are exciting because I normally work in oils, and oils you can go back for days and keep tweaking them. With acrylics, you have that sense of urgency. Now, this is speeded up to 700, so like 7 times what it would be, because I'm just mindful of how many hours have gone into this and how intricate this is, just so that you can see evolving, and hopefully that you do have the time to sit and watch it all. But I'm sure, and I'm digressing. What am I trying to say? Don't be scared to make mistakes. Don't be scared to keep reworking it until you get the look that you're happy with. So as these butterflies evolve and I'm mapping them out, I'm just trying to get a sense of composition, where I like them. Are they blending in with the flowers? Do they stand out just enough? And I know that I'm going to be adding a few more layers. So I'm going to come through with a few more highlights and lowlights and finish off with just the right amount of sparkle. Now, I'm definitely going through my glitter phase, and I keep getting distracted by the faces I pull when I'm concentrating. I constantly suck my lip, but because it's fast forwarded to 700, I'm just pulling these weird faces, so please forgive me on that. You'll also see that I stand back a few times and think about where I'm going to be putting things and seeing how that's working, and then I just go for it. So at the minute, I know that this butterfly is drawn into these flowers here, so I wanted to give a contrast. And I know that I'm going to come back with glitter. So with the flowers, I know I'm going to be coming back and adding the stalks later, but I didn't want them to be too much, and I want them to disappear into the background, and I'll probably come back in with a little bit of glitter. And the glitter that I do use and you see me apply is all Arteza as well. They are a stunning glitter, and you'll see that I put a lot of glitter on and then I shake it off. Do not stress, no glitter is destroyed in the making of this piece. I retain any bits that come off and use it for future pieces. I'm still using the same colours that I've talked through with the ultramarine with the Arteza, and they will be in my description, but I start to just blend it through. And sometimes if you keep a little bit of one colour and then another colour, so that's 2 colours, Sharon, like on there I've got my purple and my pink, you get that nice contrast. And I'm just trying to keep a sense of movement and trying to give perspective and think about where those petals would be, and I don't want them all going in the same direction. And I just want to give the ones in the backgrounds as though they're far away, but also delicate little ones. So you'll soon see me add mummy and also baby, and I really do enjoy them, and I get a lot more confident in my second approach. And I really like the fact that as you're scraping your palette knife, there's not a defined line. I think that's beautiful, and I think that adds to that sense of movement and the delicate of the wings that you can get. And to me, these are like butterflies, but also angels, but more importantly, a spiritual connection. Anyway, as usual, I'm Sharon. I've digressed, but I'm hoping you're enjoying this mixture of a little bit of commentary and what's going through my mind, as well as a little bit of music. Now, also, don't be afraid to go over pieces that you've already painted. And what am I trying to say? You can see I've just gone over with my wing the flower that's in the background. Now, that's going to help you with depth, because you're going to have background and foreground. And as you see me come through with those very fine strands of glitter grass at the front, that also helps with that depth. So just be willing to explore, have fun. And please don't look at my face as I'm painting, because it really does distract me. Anyway, I'll see you back shortly. have where the family of butterflies are going, and I'm just trying to now bring back in how to finalize that half there without distracting too much from the butterflies. I know that as I start to bring the foreground through, I'll make the butterflies pop, and I will have some of the flowers that I'll had more highlights than the others, and again that's to just bring your vision into the center of this piece. But I'm also mindful in my head at this stage, I'm thinking, okay, so this is going to look beautiful. I've got the depth of the background, I've got these beautiful flowers, they're quite vibrant, and I've got these butterflies that pop and are elegant. I'm adding some more flowers in there, but I potentially might want to come in with a few different types of butterflies just to add for that texture element without it going over the top, and seeing if it will add value. Now on the first piece I did that I threw away because it was absolutely not me and I wasn't happy with it. I will come back onto it though, but just not for this challenge. I don't like to let things go to the waste. But I was casting my own butterflies with resin, so in my mind I'm thinking, if I do place them there, will they go, because they're actually quite small but they're quite thick, and I wanted those to stand out of the resin if I put a layer on it, because I didn't want to lose too much of the texture. And also some of paper that I was going to cut out like stickers that would just be like an outline or a background of a butterfly. So it's quite neutral but pretty, but in the background, because if something's in the background, the colour's neutral. Neutral. Oh my god, it's so late at night, but I can't go to bed until I've done this. Anyway, you saw me put my butterflies down while I was digressing, and I was just adding a tiny little bit of glitter, not too much at this stage, to the wet acrylic as it was drying. So this is another day now. I think I'm back from my mum's, eager, and what you can see me doing now is adding my dark greens under the flowers, again trying to keep texture, but knowing that that's going to be how they will graduate through to the stalks. And at this stage I'm not too sure, am I just going to leave it like this, or am I going to add some defined stalks? And I know in my head it's going to be defined stalks, but I'm just working through what direction they're going to be. So you'll see me come through and phase this and also add the stalks, and I'm working through the following greens, apologies for the noise: light sap green, pale green, yellow green, and mid yellow. So I go backwards and forwards until I'm happy, because some of them are quite transparent. I wanted them to have texture. I didn't want them to be one color, but I wanted to try and make sure there was shading and lights in there. And what you'll see is my full process of me mapping it out, trying the different colors until I'm happy with the look and feel and composition, and I do come back on the next day once it's dried and add a little bit more. So I hope you're really enjoying this process, and I hope you're starting to get a vision of how this beautiful piece is coming together. So I'm just going to leave you to relax a little bit more, and I'll come back with my commentary and misspoken words. help the difference between something being good or amazing. And with acrylics, what I've learned is even though you think you're going over them with different colours, there are certain tones that still come through, or if you go over something multiple times and keep coming back and going over it, you're going to capture a lot more realism about it, but also texture or colours. And sometimes flick the mic, the less perfect it is, the more real it looks, because yeah, that's just my little tip. I came in here with a little bit of the too dark green. I tried a little bit of phthalo green here, and although it did narrow some of the stalks, I really wasn't happy with that. But then when I came back in with other tones, I found that really did add a lot of value. There's not really much more I can say at this time, but if you have watched this full video, I'm really thankful that you have chosen to spend this time. But I have an inner battle between, do I show you the full processes or do I just show you abridged versions of it? And I feel that if somebody really wants to have a go at this, although this is not really a tutorial, this is just seeing my full process for this collaboration. If you do find that this add values and you would like a tutorial, I can do it, but what I might have to do is do it over a series of videos, because I'm not kidding with the amount of hours that has gone into this, and you're talking about 7 hours, and you just really can't do it just if in an hour video. But there is drying time, and I do want to apologize. Time was against me. It was late at night here, so I had artificial lights on, and there's always again another inner battle, which is putting my work so that you can see it, but also having it in a place where I still need to see it when I'm concentrating and I'm trying to get that perspective or that 3D and making sure I'm highlighting and lowlighting the right areas. I need to be able to see it, and I apologize, but it's one of those things where I can't compromise too much if I want to deliver quality of work. So I'm trying my best, and I do apologize, but hopefully you still get to see that I am working on it and what's happening and any changes. So I thank the people that have chosen to stick with me. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Neil finally did my roots. They're looking a lot better. I'll see you shortly once you've finished the stalk. Is it a stalkathon? Yeah, I'm going to go with stalkathon. I'm really happy, and I'm moving on to the final stage, which I believe is perspective. So I am using, it's called Mixation, it's from Peebo, and it's really for if you're going to apply like mirror leaf or gold leaf, but I use it as a very defined way of putting glue down. And I know I'm going to be coming in with my Arteza glitter. And so what I am trying to do here is think foreground. I really wanted to add just a pop of dark green glitter in certain areas, covering certain flowers to cover up the illusion of where those stalks disappear into the background with a little bit of foreground. So you'll see me just throwing caution to the wind and applying it. And the glitter that I'm using, it's called sea green. It's a beautiful deep green. But I do come back and layer some foreground ones on, and the colours that I use for that is shamrock green, it's absolutely stunning, fresh green and a neon green. So I eventually gradiate them forward, so although there's some dark green ones which are fine lines, those three different colours will come through. And again, to try and take your eyes into the middle as though there's going to be a spotlight on them. And then I am going to move on to my butterflies. And the colours that I use in my butterflies are night sky blue, Egyptian blue, plum purple, holographic gold, and pure copper. So I come through with my mixation, and on that part I roll my finger, and I'm thinking, how am I going to complement the wings and the movement, and how am I going to make these two be the hero of the piece? Because although this meadow is beautiful, the texture is beautiful, it's all about those butterflies. So my first layer is to give them the colour that I want to be their main highlight, and then once that's set overnight and I brush it off, I come back and then I incorporate a few other colours like I did to the grass, just to give them a little bit more texture and movement, but also just to make them bejeweled. I mean, a girl can never have too much glitter. And it was a fun process doing this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get a little bit nervous thinking, Sharon, have you blinged this up too much? And I'm like, no, Sharon, I haven't. I've added the right amount of glitter to make these be the heroes, to make them look angelic, to give texture, Tammy, because I really struggle with texture. Sometimes if I go for texture, I make it look tacky. So I hope that this fits the bill. I'll let you be the judge of this, Tammy. I really did try and work on texture, and the texture is actually the paint itself. And from certain angles, you can see how thick it is and where it's done. I come in and add the glitter, and I add those different butterflies. So I hope it fits the bill, and I hope you're all loving this. And like I said before, don't stress about the amount of glitter I put in. All my paint had been thoroughly dried. I'm applying my mixation, and so that glitter is going to good stick to those spots just where I want it. I then collect the glitter that falls off, and I reuse that in other projects. So you just have to do it sometimes to get the results you need. And I use a paintbrush that's had nothing used on it, that's what I'm trying to say, as almost like I am looking for fossils, and I slowly sweep it all off and try not to bring off the glue, and it just holds very nicely. The one that made me nervous was the one I'm working on at the minute, because although I love the orange, red, yellow butterfly, I felt that it didn't look elegant or beautiful enough. So sorry about the camera angle on this piece, but you can see I've took off my first layer and I'm slowly removing the glitter. I was going to say fossiling, but that really didn't make sense. And you can see that rainbow glitter that's down there, but it is a beautiful glitter. If you've not used Arteza glitter before, wow, that looked kind of like a magic trick, like it was all just disappearing. But it's important that this all came off. And then later, after I applied the second bits of glitter that I wanted, and try not to distract too much from where it is, but this is where I'm thinking, I love this. I cannot wait to have this hung up in my wall. I'm very proud of this, and I definitely connect with my special people that have passed over. But I'm Sharon, I'm digressing. You'll see me repeat the process with the glitter, but at the minute I'm coming back in and adding highlights to my flowers. This is where I just wanted to make certain ones pop near the butterflies, and that's why they've attracted them. Make them look a little bit more 3D and real and alive, and bring that focal point to the middle again. It all starts to really look like it's lit up in the middle. I do it, I think anyway, unless I'm tripping out. But there's a balance of not doing it to too many flowers, otherwise then it defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do with bringing your eyes into the middle. And I put some on, some I like, some I didn't, and again I realized it's because I was laying it flat for the camera, but I needed to bring it upright, which was for me, the artist, to be able to see what is it that I'm trying to achieve. And I come back and add a tiny little bit of glitter onto some of the flowers to make it almost look like mildewy, and that's the snow white colour that I use. And again, trying to be quite restrained with that. But overall, I absolutely love it. You get to see the end result. Unfortunately, because it's night and there was no sun here, I wasn't able to take it outside for you to really see the depth and this glitter and how beautiful it is. But I think I still capture it. You see it at the beginning, you see it at the end, but I have to go around with my torch just to see it. But I think when I get a sunny day in England, a sunny day in England, I might take some more video of this and show you just the true sparkle of this piece in the sun. And I hope that you feel inspired. I hope you connect to butterflies and texture as per the collaboration. And I hope that you do visit my two amazing talented girlfriend artists, Tammy and Myriam. Make sure you do come back and visit. Make sure you thumbs up, subscribe and share. Remember to check my description. Remember to click on the top right information symbol and go to some of my other videos that I feel you might enjoy seeing. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support, and hopefully soon I'll be up and running with more frequent videos again when I've moved into my beautiful new home, and I'll be doing lives again on Sunday. So thank you for your patience with that and support. One final thing is I do come in with some resin. I was hesitant to put resin or whether to just leave it and put gloss over it, but I went with resin, and the hesitation wasn't for anything other than I didn't want to lose texture. You're always going to lose a bit of texture with resin because it's going to give smooth, but when you look at the piece you can definitely still see texture. But I am happy that some of the flowers still pop through the resin, some of the butterfly does, and the bits that I add. So I hope I've answered all your questions. I'm Sharon, I'm digressing. You can always send me a message as long as it's not about what products am I using, because then I know you've not watched my video or read the description. Anyway, peace, love and be kind to everybody. Feel the connection to the butterflies, and I think it fits the bill. I'm just sorry that you never get to see it properly because it's not outside in natural light, but that little bit of that foreground background highlights and colours just really make this a beautiful piece of nature. And as I said earlier, heaven on earth. Tammy and Myriam, I hope that you enjoyed this piece. Thank you so much for being a great friendship on YouTube and good artist buddies, and for challenging me with this one. I cannot wait to pop over and see the hard work that you two will have put into this. I know it will be amazing, and I know that you'll inspire me, so check their channel out. Remember, thumbs up, subscribe, share. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Peace out.